Everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. For the Grue Rume Show today, I got a very awesome guest, and he's a professional wrestler and he's an actor. He was in Young Rock, and he played the Undertaker in the Young Rock television series. And I'm talking about Jack Ta- Talos. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. As you can tell already, I am the host of the Grue Rume Show, and my interview with Jack will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Rume, and as always, my Gruelings. Welcome to my nightmare. So stay tuned and let's have some fun. All right, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time and doing the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I guess the first thing I want to start asking you is before you even started to get in this amazing sport of wrestling, you played ball in college,
hmm
and how was like that experience like actually playing the basketball in college?
Yeah, man. So I did 3 years of Division I basketball after junior college. I did my bachelor's over at Cal State Bakersfield, and then I did my master's over there in Morgan State in Baltimore. My roommate, funny enough, was actually Jordan Mugbehe. I know I pronounced his name wrong, so forgive me, but it's Omos, as everyone else knows him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everyone else will know him as Omos. So me and him actually played basketball together in college. So
Oh
fun
my
fact,
God.
yeah, fun fact there. But I went on, man. I went on to play semi-pro and then professionally overseas, Canada. I went and did some professional work in the Dominican Republic and China. Um, yeah, man. I actually, I retired from pro basketball when I was approached about working with the Harlem Globetrotters as the lead villain for the Washington Generals, and that actually led directly into wrestling.
Wow, that is crazy. Like I mean the Harlem Globetrotters, they're known all over the world, and that must have been fun, like working with them.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, it was a great time. It was a grueling schedule. So I always tell people if you were like, that's why wrestling was an easy transition for me because I was already spending 150, 200 days on the road a year, living in a hotel, different hotel room every night. Like, so to be able to just go work 3 or 4 nights out of the week and be home, 3 days out of the week, I was like, no, hey, that's fantastic. God, and like, yeah, the fact that I can even go home, that's a win. And that goes back to the pro basketball stuff too, because when you play pro ball, you go over to that country and you're living there. You're there for
Yeah,
months at a time,
exactly.
like the whole season. You're there for some of the off season because you got to get in for training camp and stuff. Like, and a lot of the times it's a place where you don't even speak the language. Like, like the case like China and the DR, they spoke a lot of English. It's kind of a lot of Spanish too, obviously, but like there was a fair amount of English to get by. But in China, it was kind of like, nah, it was a rare thing to have someone who spoke fluent English.
Oh my God, that must have been hard to like just going around and
So
going
the
out
team
to
had a
eat and stuff.
translator. The team had a
Oh,
translator that
okay.
stuck with us. So, and there were other Americans, right? It wasn't just me. So like, there were a few of us, like more than a few. It was actually like almost a full team of it. So.
Wow, that's crazy.
hmm Yeah, man. A
And
lot of fun. A lot of fun doing that. But I always say that kind of prepared me for the pro wrestling lifestyle. Like this to me is kind of like, no, this is fine.
and how did you like what? Why did you decide like you wanted to like not continue with doing pro ball and went in the route of wrestling?
Man, so that decision, it's actually a funny story. So I've definitely told this one before on a couple different interviews now, but it's always a fun story. So I was getting ready to get into wrestling because a lot of people had said like I've started putting on some weight, like muscle wise.
Yeah.
Pardon me. um, Muscle wise because like that was the show, it was show basketball, and I was kind of making the decision: did I want to go back to trying to play pro basketball, or did I want to continue doing this, or did I want to try to get into wrestling? I looked at a couple
Mhm.
schools, and in the process of doing that, pardon me,
Yeah, no problem.
Hmm. In the process of doing that, we hired on the Globetrotters, we hired a guy, buddy of mine, named the name of Alex Bright, and Alex had worked for NXT back in the day
Oh,
as
okay.
like a stage manager kind of guy, like helped prepare talent as they were getting out, had to get their stuff, that kind of stuff. And me and him had talked about it. And he's the one who'd been like, yeah, you need to go look into a school, this and that. And we were doing a show in Atlanta, Georgia, or somewhere in that area. We were doing a show at the Georgia Bulldogs Arena, so Georgia State.
Yeah.
I think it was Georgia or Georgia State. I cannot remember at the moment. But either way, we were doing a show there in Georgia, and AJ Styles decided to bring his family to the show. He brought his sons to the show, and we do the show. And Alex had gotten AJ the tickets. Alex Bright, AJ Styles, for those who don't know, like a turned WWE superstar. If you haven't heard of him and you're watching this podcast, guys, I don't know what you're doing, but thanks for being here anyways. We appreciate it. So he comes up to Alex after the game and is like, "Hey man, thanks for getting us tickets. It was a really good time. What's up with that big guy?" Because the show, for me, I'm the lead villain in the show. So I'm on the mic 3/4 of the show. Like I take 1/4 off, and I'm on the mic going back and forth with the head showman, doing other bits here and there. And he comes up and he's like, "Yeah, man, if he's interested, I'd like to talk to him." Because he was like, "Well, funny story, he's actually looking at wrestling schools."
Nice.
So I'll never forget it, man. I'm in the shower. I got soap in my eyes. And one of our PAs, other stagehands, whatever you want to call them, runs in. He's like, "Zach, you got to come out here. AJ Styles wants to meet you." And I knew AJ was in the audience. Like they had told us beforehand, like, "Hey, man, that's AJ Styles." Like, I'm like, "That's dope." Because that was my first introduction to him outside of seeing him a couple times on highlights here and there. Right? Like my buddies, though, who were huge wrestling fans, and we were starting to get back into it, were like, "No, that's AJ Styles." And I'm like, "That's incredible. That's amazing. All right, cool." And I got soap in my eyes, man. I'm in the shower. I'm like, "Hey, bro, like I'm not gonna be played with right now. Get out of here." Yeah. He's like, "No, I'm serious. He's out here. He wants to meet you. He wants to talk to you."
Oh my God.
Okay, man, I'm cool. Let me soap off. And like I got the photo, man. I still got the photo I took with him when we were out there talking. It's like you could see the soap in my hair still, when I just hopped out the shower. And yeah, we started talking. It was basically like, "Hey man, like I think you'd be really good at this. I want to get you a tryout." He got me in touch with Canyon Seaman at the time over there at NXT. And we did a private tryout where they kind of brought me in by myself and just put me in the green class, like the newest class they had. God. Yeah, I did that for like a week. Tryout went real well. They were like, "Hey, we want to bring you back, do a media day tryout." And they put me in there with these, like, it was literally like 7 collegiate, fresh out of college. One was right out of the Marines, all wrestlers, right? So they're cardio. Like I'm a basketball player, it's fine, but it's a different cardio. Well, and they're just running circles around me with the drop downs and everything. It was fine. Like they're all 6'1", 6'2", but I'm just like, you could just tell like I'm into the pack kind of stuff, and but yeah, we went through that tryout because it was a big media day thing, and at the end of it, they ended up signing me, and I came in with guys like Sydney Akeem, yeah. So and then what is it? AJ Francis, Shanky Singh, all the Indian guys, like the guys from India. So I'm shout out Sukhwinder. Yeah, a bunch of those guys, man. Like I remember EJ and Duca was in our class. Cal Bloom, Zion Quinn, Odyssey Jones was in our class. Yeah, so that's my guy right there. And then so I remember walking in the Performance Center on the day one and seeing Omos and it being like, what the heck? Because they hadn't really announced that he was there other than just a couple things here and there.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know. It wasn't like, I'm sure it was public knowledge, but it wasn't like big public knowledge like that. And so I literally saw him there for the first time, and yeah, that was real fun. So yeah, I mean, it was an interesting journey, like getting into wrestling. Yeah, and so it definitely kind of it's hard because it's hard to not appreciate having that great early education because of that I had a bunch of fantastic coaches on the front end. People like Robbie Brookside, who I always say is my wrestling guru. Like that guy taught me everything I know, and especially when I was starting out about wrestling, and helped me way more among other things. So big shout out to Robbie, but also people like Norman Smiley, Scotty DeHottie, Ace Steele, Matt Bloom. I got to spend time when Undertaker did the last ride, and he was there doing that. Yeah. I was in that class, doing that stuff with him. Got to work with people like Mark Henry, So a lot of the other, I know Edge came and talked to us a couple times, so you'd get to do these awesome skull sessions. You'd you'd literally in a room with four other guys, five other guys, and, Undertaker. Yeah. So it's hard, it's hard to replicate that kind of education on the front end of anything.
Yeah.
So I was very blessed in that capacity when it came to coming into the business. Good
Oh my
timing in that
God.
regard.
Yeah. Now you're like close to size with him with Taker.
Well,
Like was he looking at you and any different than like everyone else in class?
so fun fact about that one, and this one, I know I haven't told this story as many times. So I actually had met Taker before that because you remember he played college basketball and he
Yeah.
was a big basketball fan.
Yeah.
And he lives out in, I want to say it was San Antonio, somewhere in Texas. Pretty sure it was San Antonio or Austin. And we do a show there every year. And he would always bring his kids to the show. So we'd actually bumped into each other beforehand. Then he remembered it at the when we were doing the stuff when he came the
Oh
first time to
wow.
class because I walked up and I was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" Because he was introducing himself to everybody. Us going to introduce ourselves to him. I mean, and and I walked up and I said, "Yeah, you taking the kids to the game this year?" He was like, "I knew I recognized you." So yeah, man. Yeah, fun fact about that one. So, it's always funny with that one because, like, again, man, Taker is my all-time favorite wrestler. Like the guy I model a lot of my work after, like big
Or
inspiration in all of it. So that I got to do the young rock stuff for him. I
yeah,
got to
where you play the
do
Undertaker.
yeah, I got to do a couple things actually. I also got to do the 2K work when they did the 2K commercial.
Yeah.
Like, and they were doing the body movement and the
Yeah.
slams and stuff. So that was actually me doing the Undertaker in that as well.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome.
Yeah, man. So a lot of fun, and I've gotten to portray him a lot of times. And for me, that's childhood dream. Mark that one on the bucket list. There you go.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Like when you were playing him on the television show Young Rock, like did you actually hear any feedback from both like The Undertaker and The Rock?
I never did hear any feedback on any of it. Like, no, from those two, I can't say I ever did. I heard plenty of feedback from the fans. Yeah, yeah, I heard you guys absolutely. Listen, I knew I was never gonna live up to the man. The only thing I could be like when I saw one, they put it in a mat, they like put it in a freaking in an article online. It was like where it was like Twitter things, and the one guy was like, he looks like the Latino version of Taker, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
what? I'm already pale, man, and they even whitened my skin more. I was like, do I look that much like Rico Suave? Like, I didn't see it, man. I didn't see it.
That's crazy. That really is.
Oh yeah. Some of the comments, man. Some of the comments were out of this world. I was like, you guys are just being mean now. I like it.
I
I like
know.
it. I like
I
it.
oh my
Bring on the
God.
hate, baby. Bring on the hate.
So like what in inspired your wrestling names? Like the couple names you chose for wrestling and your current name.
So I wrestle currently under two names. Jack Talos, Talos is mine. And really, the inspiration for like it was really just a combination of like giants like throughout it, man. Like
Oh,
when I was
okay.
coming up with a name, yeah, because I had an earlier name inside WWE that I was kind of like I was kind of going with, and I really liked it. It was Saul Says, so it was a horror character that doesn't talk, like he just writes stuff on the wall and
Nice,
stuff, and like,
nice.
and it was Saulsezz, you know.
Okay.
So it was just kind of that play on it, and that was my original pitch and I had a lot of fun with that character because it was a lot of different ways to do promos, like not having to talk but still get a message across,
Hmm.
which makes you think about doing a promo differently. I can't speak it, but how do I still get this message across through the visual cues and like other things?
Wow. Nice, nice. I'm a huge horror fan, so like I love all
Like
those like horror
think,
based
think Mike
characters.
Myers meets Leatherface, brother. I
That's
tell people,
awesome.
man, I'm a horror snob. Like I absolutely
That's
like.
awesome.
Yeah, I love good horror stuff, man. So
Oh my
it's actually one of my
God.
dream roles is to absolutely play a horror character. And
Yeah.
I've gotten to do some like pilot work for it and play like, kind of a big scary character, like a horror, like serial killer esque. But I want to do like, like I said, like a Leatherface or like, one of the
Definitely.
Jasons. Yeah, man, I think that would be a lot of fun, like getting to portray one of those guys. So,
Oh my God. Like
so
you definitely could be like a real scary slasher, like because of your height and your size, like you could
Mhm.
definitely be like a good horror character, like a slasher in like a horror movie.
Yeah, man, I want to. So when they do, so I recently did one where I was like, we'll call him a thug, right? Like, but I was working with Kate Beckinsale out in London here recently, shooting a
Hmm.
movie, and it was the character's like a gangster-esque character, and it really works. And this was my first time actually getting to like, how can I say it? Like, the action on screen when I work, like, getting to have the fight scenes, the gun
Yeah.
scenes, the death scenes, doing all the special effects and all that stuff, and going through all that. And that was a lot of fun to experience that. But I want to, like I said, I want an axe. I want to come chop somebody into pieces. Like, I want to do that stuff on screen, man.
Oh my
So,
God, yes, definitely, definitely.
mm.
And
Like, you
and like
remember Kane and like, what was it? See No Evil?
see no evil. He made two of them.
Yeah, yeah, man. I want one of those roles. I want to follow in those footsteps.
He was actually really good in those movies too.
I
Like,
think he could have had a successful Hollywood career, honestly, man. I think he just had a bigger interest in politics.
yeah, true,
I
true.
really think that's what it was. Was
Do, do you
he
remember,
felt like he had a bigger calling.
do you remember when Taker was in the horror series? He was in one episode. Pol Poltergeist, the Legacy. He was in one episode for the
I
TV
did not
series.
see him in that. The only one I remember him doing was the one on Netflix with the New Day.
Yes,
I didn't
yes,
get to finish all of that, man. I was watching it. I've watched it in pieces with my niece and nephew here and there, and I've yet to
nice.
finish it, man. So I know because it was one of those like choose your own, right? Like it was actually
Yes,
like, yeah, it was
exactly.
one of those choose your own ones.
Hmm.
So there
Yeah,
was all the
that
different
was fun.
endings and stuff. Yeah, man, that was dope. That was dope. That had to be a lot of fun to shoot, man.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like especially him like being like a dark character because he already is one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but I had a fun one, man. I did some work. I can't say too much about it, but I did some work for a state lottery. We won't be
Oh,
specific to
okay.
the state. Yeah, I did, and they had me as this character. Again, we won't say the names, but the
Yeah.
character like had a robe of money. Like they made me all this custom gear and stuff, and like. I like it's gonna be a fun and the cool thing about the commercial is like there's gonna be some names that are very recognizable to the wrestling community. Like you're gonna
Oh,
be
okay.
like, one of them might the biggest name out there might be hard to recognize, like on the stage with us because he wears a mask. But the just know
Gotcha,
the guy
gotcha.
when you see the commercial, just know the guy in the mask is famous. Like
Really? Okay,
that's the
okay.
ex WWE like superstar luchador. Like absolutely, man. I can't emphasize it enough to people. People who know the mask design will recognize who it is the fun thing.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so if you recognize like just look for the design of the mask and be like, yeah, that's who that is. Because they made the mask after his design.
Oh, okay.
But they
Oh,
just used
wow.
their
Wow.
colors and stuff because they had a
Yeah,
color scheme
yeah.
they wanted to match.
Nice, nice.
Mhm.
And then with wrestling, like you're part of a wrestling league that's like one of the oldest wrestling promotions ever, like besides like the WWE, of course. You're with NWA, and they've been around for like eons. And
Yeah, I was about to say, so NWA is actually significantly older than
oh, so
WWE.
they're old.
Significantly so, yeah. So the NWA, man, I want to say like the 1950s, and I should know this. I'd have
Oh
to look
wow.
exactly, but they are. I want to say they've been around even. I want to say they're the current oldest national wrestling promotion in the world right now.
Wow.
And I'd have to
Okay.
double check that. Don't quote me on it. We'd have to double check that. But I'm pretty confident in that. Like because I know they're older than All Japan, New Japan.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Those were they're older than all those. And those guys are 40, 50, 60 years old. The
exactly.
WWE came around in what, the late 90s, 1990s, the early 2000s is when they were actually in what
Well,
became the WWE.
well, yeah, when they became that, but like they were around like
Yeah,
like
what was it? WWF,
Bruno
it was
Martino
WWF at the
days.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
like
like the
yeah, but before,
WWF.
but you got to remember that Vince's dad actually worked with the NWA. Like that's
Yeah,
who he
that's
worked
true.
with in the
That's
territory
true.
system. Hmm.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they hated Vince Jr. for what he was doing. Yeah, absolutely, taking our business, kid.
And what do you love about working for them and working for a big rock star like Corgan?
Man, so it's a little surreal sometimes. Like, at this point, it's been a couple years now. I've been with NWA about 2 years now. I've been working with them.
Hmm.
And it was really surreal at first because you'd sit down, I remember having my first match, and Billy Corgan comes out of production, the production about a gorilla, and says, he shakes my hand. He's like, "That's the way to punch your ticket to the pay-per-view, guys." This is like, and I'm like just sitting there, like, yeah, like my school, dude, you played this song, and like I heard you when I was like, 13, one of my school proms and stuff, bro. Like I got buddies who like hated, like, I had buddies who were like in the MMA scene and stuff. And I was like, they used to come
Yeah.
out to like your fights, your song and the fights and stuff, and I'm like. So sitting there talking about wrestling with him could be a little surreal because what do I know about music? We're not going to talk about music. Like, what was it like making that album, Billy? Like, listen,
Right,
I
right.
love the album, but what your artistic process is beyond me. I don't do that. That ain't my field. Like, Daisy, my partner. So
Yeah.
he's a real musician, man. Plays multiple. He has multiple
Oh, okay.
like singles out for himself. Multiple. He plays multiple instruments, as you could tell. Like he played the ukulele before they smashed it. He really plays that accordion, man. He can actually really play it. The piano,
Wow.
the guitar, the drums, the bass. The kid is very talented, and he does his own vocals. So
Damn. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So he has those conversations with Billy.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, well, how did you want to see me kick this guy in the face, Billy? What do you think, man? Like, what are you thinking tonight? Like, those are those conversations. Like, when you gonna give us the title shot, Billy? Come on, man.
Yes.
Yeah, that's those kind of talks.
I mean, it's amazing, like how much he loves wrestling and how much he knows. Like his knowledge of wrestling is like really amazing.
Yeah, man. So we have talked about that like in that context. So again,
Mhm.
things we can talk about. And he's told us that he's told me those stories, man. And it's really interesting to learn. Like he's been a wrestling fan. It's not new.
Yeah.
He tried to buy TNA back in the day. Um, freaking he's been interested. He had one. What was it, Resistance Pro or something in
Yeah.
Chicago,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So Billy's been in the game, and like he has his own creative process, and you at the end of the day, some people might disagree with it, like, but let's face the facts: the guy is a millionaire, a multi-time record artist, made it all on his own
Exactly.
too, for better or worse. Like, he's tried and trusted, and people can question that, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. Wrestling,
Of
as I was
course.
taught it, is ice cream, so that's the flavor he likes, and I respect that, and that's my boss, and like we go from there, baby. I
Exactly.
think the product for NWA on a personal level lately has been pretty exceptional, and I think it's only been getting
Hmm.
better. We've learned from our mistakes. This is people forget. You don't come into it knowing everything, so you got to learn as you go. Like I know
Well,
for
no,
me,
yeah.
man, coming out of the WWE into the indie scene, that was a hard one. Like the learning curve for
Oh yeah,
that,
I'm
where it
sure.
went from
I'm
well,
sure.
yeah, man, because everything on the one hand, you live in a bubble, right? Where you got skull sessions, you got workout sessions, you got in ring sessions, you got coconut tours where you're gonna go out and do 3 shows on the weekend,
Oh damn.
yeah, well, that they do it. They call it the coconut loop, and it'd be 2 to 3 shows on the weekend, like Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever the loop was said that week. And that's how they get those live show experience for those NXT guys early on, is they put them on that loop. So those guys, for the people that think those guys don't work, man, like I can't say it enough. Like the guys in that performance center, they're going into that performance center 4 to 6 hours every day, and it's going to be physical. It's going to be a physical 4 to 6 hours. Like
Oh
you might have
wow.
2 hours of skull, an hour lunch, an hour lift, 2 hours in the ring. And then on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday stuff, if every Friday you're going to finish that, and then you're going to go do the show. You
Mm.
don't get the days off, and you got to be there early because you got to unload the truck.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Exactly.
yeah, for the people, I know there was some criticism recently, man, about some of my former coworkers not working, and I'm like, you guys are insane. those guys go work. Like, so whether you see it or not, like, let that not be a rumor. Those guys go work. And I saw people get fired over not going and doing the work, regardless of who they were.
Oh,
So, like, they don't, they respect tradition and hard work over there. Like, it really is a thing. It's just bred into the
yeah.
business. So for people that don't think they were working, I would have to respectfully disagree.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
And what do you think? Like the NWA has been doing great now. Like I love the shows that 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 they're putting on, and now like Crockett Cup is coming to Philly, and I live in Philly, so I'm definitely going to be there.
I was about to say, man, you'll have to come out. You'll be my guest, brother. I'll get you some tickets, man.
Oh,
I mean,
wait,
you're
really?
you're media, bro. Let me talk to someone. We might be able to get you a media pass.
Oh my God, get out, really?
Yeah, yeah. I can't guarantee that. I can definitely get you the ticket. We can guarantee you that. I'll take care of that 100%. Let me talk to the person who does media work and
Yeah.
see if we can get you a media pass in for it.
Oh wow,
So,
thank you.
yeah,
Thank
man,
you.
of course. Most definitely, brother.
Yeah, the Crockett Cup is coming to Philly. You're part of it, and what's that like? Like actually wrestling in the world famous ECW arena in Philly and being part of Crockett Cup.
Man, so first of all, like, wrestling in that arena, like, so let me do a plug right here, guys. May 18th, May 17th, if you don't already know, like, 2300 Arena, Philadelphia, Philly, NWA, Crockett Cup. I mean, your boy Daisy Kill. We walking out of there with it, baby. But I mean, honestly, man, so this is mine and Daisy's third Crockett Cup. I feel like we made good headway last year. Obviously, we fell a little
Mhm.
short on it. But wrestling in the arena, I mean, like, we watch all these ECW shows, man. So it's a
Of
little
course.
surreal. I honestly, it's weird. It's weird because it looks different on camera when I see it on camera. And then when I'm just walking around in it without any of the stuff in there, the ring, and you walk in there before it's all done. Obviously we were a little disappointed last time we were in there. We had the fatal four-way, had like a four-way tag match with the slime balls, the Kazanas, and the Fixers. I want to say it was, but I only know who walked out winning, and that was the Kazanas. So we lost our U.S. titles that day. So hoping to see a little bit better results this time around, man.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So.
What what do you think so far has been like your most fun match you ever had? Like, I mean, I know like when you wrestle, you're there to fight and stuff. But like, was there any gimmick match or any kind of match that you had the most fun doing?
Man, so hard to say because it's like there's different matches take different things, right? Like,
True.
obviously I always enjoy working with my friends, so I feel always like, I have the chemistry there. So um like my most physical, like definitely like the hardest hitting match I'd say I ever had that I'm really happy with was probably AJ Francis
Okay.
over there at Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. Shout out Matt and Neil. Love you guys. But that was a big match. Put his ass through the table. Well, something like that. I mean, you can watch the video if you're that interested in seeing it. But I won. So, um, but other than that, man, and then I've gotten to wrestle with some like real legends in the business, especially guys that I was big fans of. So again, horror snob, big Gangrel fan.
Yes.
Don't ever tell that man I said this. He don't watch these things, so don't show him. Don't tell him I said it. But I'm
Okay.
actually a huge Gangrel fan. So I got to wrestle him, kick the tooth out of his head. So take that for what you will. That one was a lot of fun. I actually got to wrestle him. I've got to wrestle him a couple times, man. And then what? I got to choke slam him one time, man. So I got to kill a vampire. That was a lot of fun. I actually did that when we were doing an NWA joint show with Coastal Championship Wrestling out there in Florida.
Nice.
And then I was working with Frank, man, and he got the blood spit in my eye. Do you know? Do you know how gross it is to have a man like blow? Like, I hope it's not actually blood, whatever the hell it is in
I
that cup in
I
my
hope so
face.
too.
Like, nah, bro. Nah,
It's like the mist from Muda.
exactly, man. It didn't matter what it was. It matters that it was in your mouth, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. How long? Where did it come from? How long you been holding that in there? When did you sneak
No.
off? Like,
But
oh,
he is a great horror character though. Like him and Vampiro is another one. I see you worked with him too.
yeah, man. A lot of fun. A lot of very, very knowledgeable guy working with Vampiro as far as it goes. He doesn't say a whole lot, but
Yeah.
like he just watches performances. Plus, it's still impressive to me the way those two go. Um,
No, I know
I mean,
exactly.
Dave is, I mean, like I feel Vampiro still works, but Dave is a workhorse. And to this day, that man outworks 90% of the kids I see on the indies.
Oh,
I
he's
mean,
a hard
legitimately.
worker.
Yeah. I mean, I know what man, I don't even know if he was, well, he just had surgery, man. I think he just got cleared again in April. So I
Really?
know he's out there.
Oh my
Gangrel is
God.
out there, baby. So,
I know. It's
uh,
crazy. That's awesome. You got to share a ring with both him and Vampiro though. Like those guys are awesome.
yeah, man, a lot of fun working with those ones. And like I said, man, you learn so much. Like, you can
Yeah,
just see how calm
definitely.
they are about all of it too. That's another thing
Definitely.
about it. Just seeing how, like, because I remember, and I'm still green in this business, man. I've been doing it about 5 years now. I've had some
Okay.
success, like, a little here and there. But just to get the like, even me, I'll still get a little worked up sometimes. But just to see the difference of what it is to been doing it for like your first year in versus 30, 40 years in, however long he's been doing it now, right?
Exactly.
And the level
Exactly.
of like, yeah, man, we're just gonna go out there. Hey, you're nervous, calm down. You're just gonna do this and this. I'll take care of the rest. Just listen. And I'm just like, Jesus, I want to be like him when I grow up.
And the show that you're going to be doing in Philly, the Crockett Cup, like this is going to have a lot of eyes on it now because not only are all you guys on it, like the amazing talent there, but you're bringing in Natty from the WWE, and that's going to really like put a lot of eyes on it.
Mm. Yeah, man. So I know with Natty's one of them. They got like what I think we have 5 championships, 4 championships on the line through the
Exactly.
show, plus
Exactly.
the Crockett Cup itself. So I mean, man, here it is. I know, like the reality is NWA is trying to break through and come back to what it was, and build itself back to the national brand that it needs to be because it is realistically the most storied and historically, probably outside of the WWE, the most historically significant brand in the wrestling world. So, I
Definitely.
mean,
Definitely.
they were the foundation for everything in a lot of
I
ways.
know.
So, I think they're trying to really make that push. And again, man, it's wrestling. They're gonna be
Yes.
haters. People are
Yes.
gonna
Of
talk the
course.
noise. They're not gonna
Of course.
stop. Like you can't worry about that. So I know there's been a lot of momentum and a lot of conversation about it here lately, and we're excited. We're excited to see how the event goes. And I think we might hear a major announcement out of NWA at the event. So depending on
Okay.
when you're seeing this. That's my prediction. I don't know, guys. Just so you know, like I'm not saying this with any like I just watch the stuff, right? Like I just
Right.
work there,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I just work there. So I am not saying that with any kind of certainty. No, I just like I said, I know we're taking a break from live events for the summer is the thing.
Oh, okay.
Is I know we have a like they'll still be doing the territory shows, but big live TV tapings for our pay-per-views or however you want to call them now are so, man, I know there's a word for it. Man, my media package is gonna be so pissed. Ah, something live event. Like, like I know that's it. Sorry, Kyle. Um, but yeah, man. So I know we got from May 17th is our one in Philly. And
Yes.
then we will be doing something in August. I don't have the exact date. I don't know if they've announced the exact date on that one. So I don't know the date
Okay.
or location for that. But I know there will be. That's the next one on the. So hopefully they'll have announced that by the time anyone sees this.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, when you think of them, like they're so rich in wrestling knowledge and wrestling history.
Mhm.
I mean, when you think of the NWA, like of course you think of Ric Flair and guys like Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson and Lex Luger, and I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah. Yeah, when I talk about it, man, when I talk to younger guys who don't know, younger wrestling fans who necessarily don't know, they just know the commercial product, AEW, WWE. That's it.
Yeah,
That's really all they
yeah,
know. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, who's the NWA? And I'm like, you remember the one that Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair,
Dusty
this, that?
Rhodes,
And I
yeah,
start naming off the big guys, and they'd be like,
yeah,
oh yeah, okay. And I'm like, that promotion, and that's or sometimes if they're more pop culture-ish, I'll be like the one Billy Corgan owns.
yeah, right.
That's
Exactly.
it's like how I do it. Like when I would work for the Generals, man. Like I worked for the Washington Generals. Like that's who I worked for. But we were owned by the Harlem Globetrotters. But
Yeah,
you tell younger people like the Washington Generals, they look at you like who? But if I said like the Harlem Globetrotters, the people that spin the basketball, the red, white, blue basketball on their finger, they're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I got it now. Oh yeah, all right.
And and you also like are working for another music group, the Clowns, the ICP. You've been doing their wrestling music shows. You've been touring with them, and that must be like a fun time too. Like just going around like touring different cities with the Clowns and wrestling on all those shows.
Yeah, man. So Juggalo Championship Wrestling. If you guys haven't ever checked it out, it's JCW. We do the Lunacy shows. It's a weekly show on YouTube, man. So for that promotion with Violent J, and it's run by ICP, but Violent J is the guy that's really, the guy that's in it like all the time. Like he's,
Yeah,
that guy is so committed to it, man. It's incredible to watch Joe work. He loves it. Like he loves it. Like I can't say it enough. Like he loves this shit. And so, fun fact, man, not a lot of people know this about me. Like, my closer first circle does. Obviously, they kind of grew up with me a little bit, but I am actually a huge ICP fan. Like,
oh,
when I was growing up, I went to their concerts all the time. I watched
funny.
JCW, all the like. Yeah, for the people from our age bracket, right? There's going to be backyard wrestling. Yeah, man. So that was
Yeah,
the first wrestling game I ever had. That was it.
that was a great game. That
A
was
great game. Yeah.
I played that game a lot. Like yeah,
Mhm.
that was a great game.
Yeah, man. So, and then, like I said, to be able to like now, like from going when I was a kid, like going and watching these things and watching the concerts and, Madman Pondo and, freaking Colt Cabana, even some like, why to get those? He started with them long enough ago that even I got to watch Colt when I was younger, like when I was like
Nice,
17, 18 years old. Like,
nice.
he's been doing it that long with them. And, so man, it really is. That's another one of those where it's just life's funny. Like, I got into this business where it was like, I didn't think I'd meet ICP through this business. Like, and I
Right?
didn't, like, I get to work at the gathering and go do these things
Yeah,
and tour with the band and stuff. And, now I get to go up on stage and actually, instead of having a Fago shower, I get to like blow out there and blow off the Fago on everyone, man. And like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And like, if I get for people on the outside looking in, it can be a little bit strange, but the product is there. And, I think that I honestly, man, out of all the companies right now, and I mean this out of all the companies, I think they probably have like a fair amount of having the argument to be the one with the most momentum. I think NWA does as well. They have that argument, but I think JCW does as well because it's a good
right,
product
right.
and they work hard on it, man. The
Oh, yeah,
production's there, everything. So,
definitely. And you got wrestling and you got music. So
mhm.
yeah, like
Yeah,
you
man.
got
And
both in one show.
that's a lot of fun too, man, to be able to transition into that because like the
Yeah,
fans, the fans are stoked for both. Like, because
yeah,
we'll go out and
exactly.
do shows where it's like, yeah, there's some music, but it's like, it's not ICP, it's like Violent J and or Ouija Mac. And that's always a good time. They're there for that too, but you can always tell like those are the diehard more wrestling fans. But then when you do
True.
the shows with ICP, it's just a whole different level because that's their fan base. ICP's Joe's and Shaggy's fan base is just one of the most loyal, psychotic fan bases, and it's
Oh,
like
I
I said,
know.
they get a bad rap sometimes the way they look, but they're good people. Like we go out there, we go hang, we just go hang out in the parking lot, have hot dogs with them, hang out with the fans, man, and it's just a great
Right.
time. So if I really encourage people if you have the opportunity to see JCW, check them out online. But if you get a chance to go to a live show, man, come on out. Like they are a lot of fun.
Oh my God, I know. Like I was actually at one of the gatherings, and it was a while back because I was actually friends with one of the Backseat Boys, Trent Acid.
Tommy and
And
JP, baby. My
yeah,
guys, my
yeah,
guys. Love, bro. Did you
yeah.
see the one? Did you see the one recently? There, they had the they jumped the fan in the ring.
I did. I did. That was
Yo,
crazy.
that was
That was
insane.
crazy.
Oh yeah, fun story. We met that fan's mom later that night. She stayed at the show. She was like, "I'm not leaving." He got kicked out. Even his own mama abandoned him.
Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
God,
man.
are you serious?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. I'm proud of those guys for that. Good job,
Yeah,
Tommy and JP. If you see this, good job, guys. That's how you handle business, boys.
they did such a good job with that. Like
Yeah,
I was laughing when I saw that. I'm like, oh
yeah.
my God, look at this.
They even gave him the chance. They were like, "Don't do it." And he was like,
I know,
"Yeah."
I
I'm like,
know.
"Yeah." I just got fun. All we hear is like people come running down. They had to jump a guy in the ring. We come up there, man. They're like freaking. They beat him up. Drake's dragging him out by the head and
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah. So.
That was insane. That was insane.
Oh yeah, it
And
was fun, man.
you mentioned like you're a big horror fan, and I talk about horror on every interview that I do. So what are some of your favorite horror films?
Man, so depends on the genre. Not a huge like I like old school slashers more than most, but I'm
Yeah.
actually a big like my argument for horror films is like the best horror films are where they don't have to kill someone. So like I thought The Conjuring, The Poltergeist early on, Exorcism was an early one for me that was great.
Mhm.
But again, if I'm going for like slashers, like I love like the classic Jasons, the Michael Myers, the Leatherface. I kind of got a little off when it came to like things like Saw, where they were like, "This is psychological horror." I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
this is kind of just a snuff film."
Yeah.
You guys are just like, "How can we kill gut people in gruesome, interesting ways?" I get that you're trying to build the suspense on that one, but
Uh-huh.
nah, man, it doesn't do it for me. Like when they ripped open the woman's chest, and that was like one
Yeah.
of the big like I was like, man, like he had to cut off his own leg, which great twist. I'm just like for me, like again, The Conjuring's a great one to point to because it was like you didn't kill one single person on screen, and you arguably
It was
made the scariest horror movie in the last decade.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, what did well, I watched one recently that was pretty good. It was B-Ray horror, man. It's from like the 2007, I think it's called Splinter. It's like body
Oh, I saw
horror,
that.
yeah, body horror kind of
Yes.
stuff, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah. So that one was pretty good, like the fungus that like killed people and stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah. So it just again, it just depends on the genre. But I really, I think, all right, I think I really liked Insidious, the first one, not the follow-ups. Got worse as it went because they struck gold. And they didn't mean to. It was just supposed to be a
I
low-budget
know.
horror film,
I
and
know
they
you're right.
killed it. Like
You're right. You're
but
right.
I guess it did good for him. Like it got the Nun. Like he had all these
I
run-offs
know.
with it. Like.
And the Annabelle films and
Yeah, the Annabelle wasn't like the first one wasn't bad. Love the premise because it has the real life connection.
yeah.
Like, so I always love that when it's like, it's kind of the wrestling aspect. You draw a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah.
of weird world into it and it makes the story better. So
Did you ever see how the real Annabelle doll looks? It looks
yeah, it's like a
nothing like
Cabbage
the
Patch
one
Kid
in
almost or something, or one of those Raggedy Ann dolls or something,
yes,
right?
the
Yeah.
Raggedy Ann
They
doll.
have it in the
Yeah.
glass container. Oh, brother, no. The one I want them to do a movie about. Have you ever seen the chair in like Ireland? It's in an Irish pub. And anyone who sits in the chair like dies within within the year. And it's
Oh my
like
God,
it's
really?
like documented. Yeah, there's like 40 deaths associated with the chair.
What?
Yeah, check it out sometime. It's like a British or Irish pub or something and it's hanging up on a wall now, so no one can sit in it. And it was
Oh
like
my
this guy's
God.
chair from like back in the 1800s or something.
Yeah.
And he killed like someone who sat in that chair and took it. Like that was
No.
his thing. He was like, "If anyone sits in my chair, I'll kill you." Or like the story goes, or something. And it's a true story, man. Like that, like at least like some of it. But like I want them to make a movie about that. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Oh my God, that would be an awesome film to make.
Yeah, yeah, right. Just get somewhere. People just they track it back to the chair, man. But yeah, what's another one I really used to like, man? I loved the Leprechaun movies.
The
With the
Leprechaun, yeah.
yeah, the comedy horror vibes. It
Yeah.
was done right in that capacity.
I think that
So
was like one of the first films Jennifer Aniston did. Like she was in the first one, the first
yeah,
Leprechaun.
I think you're right. Actually, she was the not the she wasn't she was the older sister, not like the girlfriend,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah. Okay, I know the one you're talking about. What's another one, man? So I really like sci-fi horror. So that could be a lot of things. Like, so I'm a nerd. Like full disclosure, brother. You ever seen what is it, Event Horizon?
Yes.
So I
Yes.
love
That
Event
was a good one.
Horizon. Like I've always loved it my whole life. Like it's a great movie. Same with like Starship Troopers. That's another big one. But
Uh-huh.
Event Horizon, like I really like that one because I'm a big Warhammer 40K fan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So and the directors even said like, no, we made this. It's a Warhammer 40K movie. Like the ship goes through the dimension, comes back possessed and evil. That's the whole premise of their stuff in Warhammer 40K. It's the whole thing. Like he's like, yeah, we designed it after that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man. So I really liked that one, but I would say my favorite movie, and I don't know if you can call it horror, but it's like sci-fi action more, is like
Okay.
Starship Troopers, man, hands down.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely,
love that
definitely.
movie. Love that movie. And as I get older and watch it more and more, I'm just like, it works on so many levels.
I know. What do you
Mhm.
think of the Terrifier films? Like, are you? I know you
Man,
said
I'm really
like a
not
lot
caught
of
up
the
with them, man.
12 stuff.
My brother is a huge fan of them.
Yeah,
Again, for me, like that, I haven't. I feel like I might like it because it's that comedy horror combination again. But
yeah.
again, when it's just like, how can we kill these people in the most unique way possible? Like, can we, rip their head out with the spine hanging and stuff? I'm like,
Um,
it's just a lot. Like I like mine to have like that feel that I don't want to say
true,
realism to it, but like that real
true.
sinister feel. So Sinister was a great movie for me. Like I
That
love
was
good
good.
lore in a horror flick.
That was
And
really, yeah. That
yeah.
was the Ethan Hawke was in that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, with
yeah,
the
yeah,
turn, with the
yeah.
twist at the end, where their daughter actually gets him at the end and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, the second one wasn't as good, but again, man, they have
Yeah,
to.
I wasn't a fan of the second one, but
Yeah,
the first one was really good though.
again, man, sometimes they just hit gold, and then they're like, "We didn't expect it to do this good, guys. We don't know what to do." I would say the underground one, if no one's ever watched it, man, the one to go watch it, the series that I think is amazing is VHS.
Yes,
I
yes,
love the
those are good
VHS series.
films.
They've
Yes,
dropped like four more too since like
I know.
2002 when I stopped watching them. So I actually got to go catch up on them. The last one I watched was like the one with the ambulance, like driving around
Okay, yeah.
LA.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, man. But the first one got me hooked, man. They were so good. Like when the one with they had the girl in the hotel room. She turns out to be like a
Hmm.
vampire, a demon, or whatever the hell it
Hmm.
was. I'm like, oh my god, yeah. Like that, yeah.
And
Those are
I'm a big fan of those films. Like it kind of reminds me of like the old Faces of Death films. Like, do you remember those like those horror films, the Faces of Death?
man. No, I remember they always reminded me more of like Tales from the Crypt. I don't think I've seen the Faces of
Tales
Death
from the
one.
Crypt. Yeah,
Yeah, Tales
yeah,
from the Crypt kind of feel.
yes,
Like, just the
definitely.
combined, like, I just like, yeah, I love how that it was like they combined the short story feel of like that, but it had an
Hmm.
overarching storyline around it, like building around it the whole time. So you've got these small mini ones while overall building the entire world. Like, I thought that was a really
Exactly.
cool concept for the vibe of the movie.
Oh yeah. Like I actually went in the movie theater to see Terrifier 2 and 3 because I knew that Chris Jericho was going to be in both of them, and
Mhm.
I remember seeing you on Jericho's cruise. Like I was at one of the cruises and you were on the
Yeah,
cruise.
man.
Yeah.
I've never actually worked one of the cruises before anyone gets their hopes up. No, man. I literally I go with some buddies every year, and they're obsessed with it. So we have the unofficial show the night before the cruise goes out
Yeah.
every night. It's
Yes.
Cruising for a Bruising Boca Raton Championship Wrestling, and we have it the night before whatever the cruise is. And yeah, man, my buddy always invites me out on it. I wasn't able to go on it this last year. I've been on it like the last 2 years before this. This would have been year three,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
NWA kind of scheduled a show at the time, and duty calls, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well,
I can't call NWA and be like, yeah, man, I'm on an AEW cruise. I know it says can't do that, can't do that. Billy
yeah.
might be mad at
Yeah.
me for that one. So
I know, right?
yeah,
And and what kind of music do you like? Like, are you like a rock and roll metal guy, or do you like what kind of music is on your playlist?
man. So most of my playlists nowadays, when I was growing up, I was a big rock and country guy, like more
Oh,
rock than
okay.
anything. So like my first concert ever was Breaking Benjamin. Still to this day, one of
Yeah,
my favorite bands. But it was also like Corn, right when like Twisted Transistor dropped, man. Like
yeah,
that was like one of the very first ones I ever went to. Marilyn Manson, Slipknot, freaking Megadeth, even things like White Chapel, Atreyu. Like that was back in the day. Then, but nowadays, man, I do a lot of EDM stuff. That's actually That's
Oh,
actually how I
nice.
know Shaq. Like it's through the EDM stuff. Like you'd think I'd know
Okay.
him through the basketball stuff, but no, man. Like we yeah, so I got to meet Shaq. First time I met him was at EDC Orlando. Yeah, this
Okay.
was 2002, I want to say was the year on that one. And then we met again. Like he called me out. Like we and at EDC Orlando. We shook head, shook hands, all this that, and then like we saw each other again at Lost Lands 2023. And these are all big EDM festivals if you're not familiar.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then finally at Electric Forest 2024 or 2023, 2024, I think. Um, we finally like he brought me up on stage, like we freaking moshed in front of the crowd, like exchanged information and everything. He hit me up on Instagram later on. We exchanged numbers, and like I've gone to shows now and just met him backstage and stuff, man. So
Like,
it's been really cool, man. Like because again, as a basketball player, like as a big guy, like I grew up, that was the idol. That was you played like Shaq. That was the ideal big man.
exactly.
Like, and I was a
Exactly.
big man. Like, I wasn't gangly. Like, I was thick. Like, so, like getting to meet him, man, and like, through the music too. Like, that was really cool. Like, freaking. But
Oh my
so
God.
yeah, I go to like if I had to say anything on my playlist right now, it's rock, country, and EDM music.
Nice.
Maybe a little Brazilian music because I like to keep I like to keep brushing up on my Portuguese even though I suck at it. So, you know.
So, what do you think would be your go-to karaoke song if you were gonna do one?
One or two, man. It's gonna be one or two. It's gonna be Otis Redding, Dock of the Bay. Like, because I love oldies. That should be another thing. My dad grew me up on oldies. Like, so in that capacity, I love oldies, and I will sing oldies. So to be Otis Redding, Dock of the Bay, or it would be Never Been to Spain by Three Dog Nights.
Okay, okay.
Those would be
Nice,
the two.
nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
and like when you're traveling and you want to do a cheap food, what fast food place is like your one that you love going to, and what do you order?
man, so that is a multi-layered question. Actually, you don't know how complicated that question is. You just ask. So first of all, man, like you don't get a whole lot of options all the time. You get out of the show at like 11 o'clock sometimes, man. It's like,
Sure.
what's open, what's available. If I
Yeah.
had my way about it, I would have the microwave rice bowls, the white rice bowls with the rotisserie chicken. I would just pick one up at the beginning of every day
I love
and
it.
or one or two of them. But the reality is that you don't always get that choice. Like, sometimes you get off the plane, you got to go straight to the venue. Like, you got the way life rolls sometimes. So I would tell you also, it matters where you are in the region.
Okay.
So like in Florida, when I'm in the like that area of the country, I love a Wawa. I love Publix.
Nice.
Pub sub is hard to beat. But in Oklahoma, like the Midwest area, that kind of thing, where I'm more like living right now,
Mhm.
you'll run into more like you're gonna have options like Subway, like they're gonna be at the truck stops, open 24/7 for you. You might get lucky, get an Arby's or a Carl's Jr. that's open 24/7, like
Okay.
But and then what, man, on the West Coast? Whew, I mean, a lot of stuff actually stays open more on the West Coast. You can almost always find a little like taco truck that's open till like 2 in the morning, like when you work out there. It's hard to
Yes.
beat. Yeah, some carne asada fries, bro. Hard to beat. Hard to beat. If
Here,
I was gonna go for a cheat meal, it'd be a chimichanga. It would be a California burrito made chimichanga style,
ooh.
wet with carne asada fries,
Oh my
extra
God, that
cheese.
sounds amazing.
That would be the winner with a with a
Like
nice with a nice Arnold Palmer on the side.
there's actually quite a few Mexican food trucks that are in Philly that stay open late.
Philly is a food city, man. Like, where's that one thing? I've been to Philly now a couple times. I came there for WrestleMania. I
Yeah,
came there for the shows with NWA before.
yeah.
I came there. I was doing a Halo thing, man. I was working for the Trotters. We also used to do like extra work for them on the side, and I was doing a
Oh,
Halo
okay.
event there where we were putting on the Outpost Discovery. I don't know if you saw that a couple years back.
No,
Yeah, man. So that was the last gig I did with the Globetrotters, like for that company before I went
no.
over to the WWE. I didn't even do the basketball the last thing. The last thing I did was that because that got done, and then it was immediately the new year, and I signed my contract.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
yeah, but there was, what is it? It's like the train station they have out there that they turned into like a market. I forget what
Yes.
they call it, man. It's so good though. That like I've had a lot. I always like because I have like 8 Philly cheesesteak sandwiches when I go out there. But there's a spot there, and they do like a freaking marinara with like the provolone and stuff on it, and it is oh man,
I
yeah.
don't know. It's definitely a food town, and I mean most of the places like close by like 12, but then like the cheesesteak spots like Pat's, Geno's, and all that they're open
Yeah.
late, and then you got the food trucks too. Like there's quite a few trucks that are
The food
around
trucks are
there.
hidden gems, man. So where
Yeah,
I go for food trucks, I go to Vegas a lot too, man. And I go to TikTok for the food trucks because I'm serious, bro. Because the food review people, like they're like, oh, what can I do locally that's not like overdone? So
yeah,
they like a lot of them go out and do the local food trucks.
nice,
And like so
nice,
I have found some winners on TikTok for food trucks, man. So serious.
nice.
What's one of those good ones that does a lot of reviews? Vegas Starfish. That's a free plug. So yeah, right there. Vegas Starfish on Instagram, man. She does a lot of good stuff.
Okay, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like the last thing I'm going to ask you is where can fans follow you, and is there anything you want to plug?
Man, so you guys can follow me on any of my social medias. It's either at Jack Talos or at Z the Tall Nomad on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitter or X. Sorry, it's at Jack's underscore Talos. As far as plugging, man, like I said, we got the show out here on May 17th for NWA for the Crockett Cup, man, along with all the other like 4 or 5 championships on the line. So it's going to be an exciting show. So I encourage anyone in the area with you. We'll definitely be seeing you out there, man. We'll get
Definitely.
that worked out. But then if you're in the Boca area, man, come on out and see that. We're in Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. It's me versus Odyssey Jones on May 18th. And
Wow.
then, yeah, and then we will jump on over to a Lunacy tour, man, where you can catch us. For all those, you just go to their Juggalo Championship Wrestling Instagram, check out those tour dates. We hope to see you guys out there, man.
All right, bud. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. It was nice talking.
Likewise, man. Thanks so much for having me, man. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Thank you.